If you have considered using Close as a CRM for your business as you're scaling, then in this video and the series Close CRM Systems, I will be sharing with you the entire setup that I built for my clients who are making multiple 6 and 7 figures in cash collected per month. And these are the systems that I usually build for agencies and also coaches, consultants, or online service providers. But if you are considering using Close and you are a remodeler or general contractor or any other business really, then I think you'll still find these videos beneficial because I'm going to show you the foundation. I'm going to explain the different components and also the mistakes that you should avoid. So I'm going to share my screen now and then I'll show you in this video the different components. I'm going to share more videos and probably by the time that you're watching this, the other videos are live and are part of a playlist where you can watch the entire series of Close CRM as a build. On the last videos, I'm also going to explain more on the reporting side of things, which is the most important part so you can make better decisions for your business. So let's just jump straight into my screen and let's see what Close.io can offer to your business. So this is what the interface on Close looks like. But the first thing I want to explain is the pricing. So Close has these 3 plans, but also they have this plan for solo users. Maybe the pricing has changed at the time that you're watching this video, but usually they don't change too much or too often. I would say for my clients, I mostly use the growth plan, especially if they're making 100K or more per month. And to some of you, it may seem that this is a pricey tool, but it is really important that you use the best tool that allows your sales team to sell more. The return on investment is there, and you should not try to go cheap about this or use something like Google Sheets or random tools like building a pipeline within Trello, because it does not allow your team to easily reach out to their leads, to segment leads in the way that you're prioritizing the highest priority ones. And you have other tools like predictive dialing or power dialing and custom activities that are making your life easier and your sales process much smoother instead of switching to Google Sheets and then Gmail and then call them on the phone or WhatsApp, right? So this is why I would say that the price is very justifiable, and then compared to other tools like GoHighLevel, that is a direct competitor, it is pretty similar. I would say GoHighLevel has more features, but for certain teams, those additional features are creating more complexity. So not always something we want to see. And I would say Close is great, especially for teams that are doing a lot of phone calls and they want to have one place to call leads, text, and also do the emails in a very efficient way. So you can choose the plan that works for you. I believe there must be some sort of free trial. And if you're a solo user, you can just start with $9 per month, which is a really great price if you're starting out with your business. I would say regardless, you need to have a CRM, whether you're making 1K, 2K, or 5K per month. If you're looking to scale, you need a CRM. Now let's look into the interface within Close.io. This is what that looks like. And then in this video, I'll explain how everything works here, like the opportunities, leads, contacts, workflows, conversations, and reports. Now let's take a step back. You know that tracking your leads on a CRM is important. But what is the most important part? The most important part is tracking them in the right way. I've seen a lot of people use Close in the wrong way. And what does the wrong way look like? Well, your CRM has been probably built in the wrong foundation if you cannot find leads, if you're missing data points, or if you see that past a certain point, your CRM is not helping you. Instead, you're starting to use some sort of like notebook, or maybe you're using Google Sheets on the side. So if you see those symptoms, then you need to go back and fix the foundation of your CRM. So let's dive into the different elements within Close. Opportunities, leads, and contacts. This is something a lot of users get confused with. Leads and contacts. A lead is John Smith. For example, let's say you are a fitness coach and you're looking to close John Smith on a package. John Smith is a lead and he's also a contact. The difference between leads and contacts is noticeable when you're doing B2B, because a lead could be XYZ business, and then you have the founder who is a contact, the COO who is a contact, and also the CMO that is a contact. These are 3 people under one lead, the XYZ company. So if you're running a B2C offer where, for example, you work directly with one person, let's say you are a remodeler, you work with a homeowner, or let's say you are a fitness coach and you work with John Smith, then the lead is equal to the contact. But if we have multiple people involved in the buying decision, then all these contacts that belong to XYZ company, which is the most common in B2B offers, then those contacts will be nested under lead. So let me show you an example of what that looks like. Over here, if I search for this contact, this is the test contact, right? This is what the interface of a contact / lead looks like. This is what the interface of a lead looks like. Over here is the lead's name, and this is the about. These are the tasks, because you can create tasks for yourself to follow up with the lead, send maybe an invoice or something like that. Over here you have the opportunities, which I will explain a little bit later. And then over here you have the contact. You can create as many contacts as you want. One contact equals to one person with an email or a phone number. And over here you can see you have the test, and then you have test 2. This could also be another contact, right? These people are part of the business. The role is, let's say, CEO, and then this other person could be the CMO. In the scenario where you're working with a business, then these 2 contacts would be the people that are working within the business, and then the lead's name would be XYZ company. This is really important to understand. XYZ company has these contacts. Now, if you are working with John Smith, then here you would have John Smith, and over here the contact would be John Smith. Okay? Really important to understand this part and to understand what is the difference between leads and contacts. Now, let's say we are talking with John Smith. I'm going to go into the scenario where you are working with just one person, just to keep things a little bit simple here. In that scenario, John Smith is scheduling an appointment with you or showing up in person at the gym and is considering buying like a coaching program from you. That is an opportunity to sell them at that time. Let's say now it is July 2025. I'm talking with John Smith and I have this opportunity to close him. Then where would I track this? This is what opportunities are all about. They are all the shots we have at closing deals. And it could be that with John Smith, we don't only have just one shot and then we close him right away. It could be that we talk now in July, and then maybe during Christmas, he's like, you know what, I'll start in New Year, so I have another chance and shot to close this deal. So that's what opportunities are all about. Now, in the scenario where I have, let's say, a call booked with John Smith, and let me just quickly rename this to John Smith to keep it simpler. This is John Smith, right? And over here is again John Smith, no CMO, etc. Perfect. So as we have John Smith over here, and now it is July, and John is like, hey, like I really want to get fit. I want to have like a great summer body, etc. So in that scenario, you have a call booked with John Smith. Whatever happens on that call will be tracked over here on this pipeline or opportunity, right? So what happened? If he no-shows, then we mark it as no-show. If he pays a deposit, we're going to mark this as a deposit. If he cancels a call because he just changed his mind, he's like, well, it's too late now, I'm not going to get fit, then he's going to potentially cancel the call or be considered a bad fit. So in that scenario, let's say he canceled the call, this opportunity is going to be marked as canceled. We are going to try to reschedule because maybe we're just trying to change his mind, etc. But if, for example, John is like, you know what, no, I'm not going to do it, then this opportunity will be marked as lost, okay? This is what happens every time you have a shot at closing a deal. You will have a new opportunity tracked over here. Now, let's say it is December and John is considering, again, having like a great body for this new year. In that scenario, what we would do is we would have over here a new opportunity. Why? Because it is a new shot at closing this deal. I don't want to go back here and update this one to like, well, I have again a call booked, because I will be losing data. I will be overriding data. Instead, I want to have the scenarios where I had an opportunity to close the deal. And then from there, I'm going to mark this as one lost. Let's say he actually bought. We're going to mark this as one. Now, if we're going to check over here what happened, we can see the entire history of that contact. What exactly did this person do? Have they worked with us? How many appointments they booked before they actually buy, etc. So if you want to keep notes, you can always add notes through this section right here. You can always send also emails, SMS, and call people. And you can also leave a voicemail. Now, if you want to assign a task to yourself, because maybe in July, John told you like, hey, I will reach back on November, December, maybe I'll do this in the new year, then you can also create a task for yourself and select the time and the date for the future. And then you're not going to forget about John Smith, because yes, he is qualified, but maybe he's not ready at the moment to buy. So you don't want to leave money on the table because you're not following up with people. So this is what that would look like. This is how we are using opportunities, and this is the difference between an opportunity, a lead, and a contact. Now, there are best practices as to how you're going to use the opportunities, but I'm going to create a separate video for that, because maybe you don't want to have like so many opportunities. For example, let's say someone booked like 15 calls, and do you really want to have 15 opportunities where they are marked as lost? Not necessarily. This is not something you want to have because it's going to clutter your CRM. I have a better solution for that. But if you don't mind it, then you can always keep it as lost over here. So in short, within the lead level, we have a lead, we have the contact, which could be the same person as a lead if we're doing B2C, or we're just talking with one person within one business. And we have the opportunities, which are our shots at closing someone. Now, if, for example, John Smith bought one coaching program and then he's considering like a nutrition plan, then that would be again a new opportunity. For example, here we would have it this way, and we can add also our notes and save it. And now we have another opportunity. So it's not like we would create new leads every single time. It is the same person, but we have multiple opportunities to close multiple deals and make more money. Now, the next part that I do want to explain over here is the part with the activities. Activities on Close.io are forms. So why would you need forms? If you want to have a more structured way of keeping notes and you don't want to just tab over here and just put like notes, and you want to have a more structured way because you don't want your team to put like random notes and to miss certain points, then you can create forms. This way, when you are having an appointment or a call, then you can submit a form which has specific questions that your team has to go through. So for example, the outcome, the pricing plan, which offer we pitched, and then different details. And then once you submit this, it's going to add all the notes within the contact right here. Let me just quickly delete that. So here is what a contact looks like. This is what the feed looks like. And Close is doing a better job at summarizing also what is happening with the lead. So you have this summary button right here where you can generate a summary for the lead if you have a lot of things going on over here. Now, the next question you may have is, can I use Close for delivery? Meaning, can I use Close for my client success team, for people that are responsible to deliver to my clients? The truth is you can use it, especially for phone calls, emails, and SMS. But I would say anything related to that, you wouldn't be using the same pipeline, meaning the sales pipeline with these opportunities right here. You would be using something else, which I will be covering on a separate video. So we have covered already so much: opportunities, leads, and contacts. This is the foundation of Close. If you get this right, then you're working on the right foundation, and this is an evergreen system for you, and an evergreen build. If you want to automate certain things, you can create workflows. And this is what that looks like briefly. You can trigger them manually, or you can trigger them based on like an event. For example, if an opportunity is marked as canceled, then you can send a follow-up email automatically. That is something you shouldn't be doing manually. It is pointless. Why should you do it manually, right? So if you have here current status is canceled by lead, then add the next step to either send an email, send an SMS, or create a task for the person that is assigned to close this deal. One thing to really pay attention to when it comes to Close workflows is the schedule. So for example, do you want to send emails, texts, SMS every day, all times of the day, or do you want to do this on specific days? I usually set it up in a way that it's all days 24/7. I don't really mind contacting people at all times, but if you want this to be different for you, then you can just select the days and the times that work for you. The next part that I do want to explain over here is the inbox, and this is where you're going to have the notifications. For example, if someone is responding, or if someone called you or sent you a message back, and also your pending tasks. This is all going to be in here. So then it's like a centralized place where you can go and check all your notifications at the start of the day. Make sure you clear your CRM and make sure you clear inbox at the start and the end of the day. So then you are always on top of things. Now, the last thing you need to be aware of within Close are the smart views. And these are pretty much views where you have certain filters set up in a way that it allows you to reach out to certain people based on like certain priorities. For example, you can create a filter over here and say like, I want to see all the opportunities where the current status is 1. So then you can go here and you can save as, and then you can call it 1 opportunities, okay? And this will allow you to create a new smart view right here. Smart views are really important if you want to check leads over time and you have lots of leads and you don't want to have like an endless list with like thousands of leads, right? For appointment setting teams, you can create a view where they can reach out to people that cancel the call or no show today or this week, so then they can just follow up and schedule a new appointment. Now, opportunities, contacts, leads, inbox, etc. What are your thoughts on Close.io? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are considering starting with Close and creating your own account, you can always start with my link in the description. And if you would like to work with a professional that has built these systems before, that has built Close, and you don't want to guess about building things the right way, even though I'm sharing a lot of details, maybe you have specific questions, then you can check the links in the description to see how we could work together. Whether that means scheduling a call with me and my team or being a part of the systems and AI mastermind. On the next video, we're going to talk more about the custom activities, the workflows, and also how you can build the reporting side of things within Close.io. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.